I'm Sarah and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how the pages of Emily Henry's book, People We Meet on Vacation, made it to the big screen. I'm trying something new with this video. I made a bingo card documenting things from the book that may or may not have happened in the movie. So let's see if we can get a bingo. We have a lot to cover, so let's get started with our cast of characters. This romantic comedy follows Poppy, a quirky travel writer, and Alex, a type A homebody. These two have been best friends since the end of their freshman year of college, but it's been 2 years since they've seen each other after a trip gone wrong. In the movie, it's a couples trip with Sarah, Alex's on-again, off-again girlfriend, and Trey, Poppy's coworker slash boyfriend at the time. So when David, Alex's younger brother and only brother in the movie, invites Poppy to his wedding, it's a big deal. Let's start by discussing how Poppy and Alex met. So in the book, they're at their college orientation at the University of Chicago, and they're both standing alone. So Poppy decides to go up to Alex and they start chatting, and they find out they're both from Linfield, Ohio, which, what are the odds? These two couldn't be more different. And they kind of just part ways, not really expecting to ever see each other again. That is until their mutual friend sets up a carpool for them at the end of the year when they're heading home for the summer. So this is where the movie shows them meeting for the first time. They're packing up their stuff into Alex's car, and they're heading home after their freshman year of college at Boston University. Mark that on the bingo card, change of location. They've never met before, and now they're gonna go on a road trip together. There are a few little small details that they also added in the movie, like the whole breakfast burrito bit, as well as Alex mentioning Sarah, his high school girlfriend, which she isn't his girlfriend in the book until later on. And then we also have them making a pit stop at that gas station so that Alex can go get a coffee. Meanwhile, Poppy decides to get out of the car and she spots a well, or a wishing well, which I love this because it really does show her whimsical side. If I saw a well in the middle of nowhere, she saw it as a positive thing. Like, oh my god, we're in the middle of nowhere. There's this well. How magical is that? And she makes a wish. If I saw a well in the middle of nowhere at this gas station, I'd probably be staying away because the movie The Ring. The two head back to the car, but then quickly realize that the keys are inside and they are locked out. So now they have to wait for AAA. AAA takes a long time. This new circumstance of them having to get a motel room for the night really sets the stage for them to open up and be vulnerable and just get to know each other. Alex is laying on the ground and Poppy is in the bed. Alex mentions his mom passing away while he was young, and Poppy mentions this awful rumor that had spread. In the book, you really just have this road trip, and that's them bonding and kind of getting to know each other. The next morning, they get breakfast together, and this friendship, you can really see the foundation being built. Poppy getting invited to the wedding. So in the movie, David, Alex's brother, calls Poppy one day asking why she hasn't RSVP'd to his wedding, and Poppy scrambles and looks through this giant stack of unopened mail, finding the invitation only to realize that the wedding is that same weekend she has a work trip in Greece. She also tells David that she doesn't want to make Alex and Sarah uncomfortable with her presence at the wedding, and that's when David breaks the news that Alex and Sarah actually aren't together anymore. So Poppy getting invited to the wedding is a little bit different in the book. Rachel helps her realize that the happiest she's ever been in her life was on those trips with him. So she decides to send a text, and then the next day Poppy sends, "Any chance you're free until school starts? I'm thinking about taking a trip." Alex is unavailable the week that Poppy is talking about because he has a destination wedding to go to. So instead of giving up this idea to resume their yearly trips, Poppy pitches the idea of adding an extra 3 days prior to the wedding. That way they can spend a little vacation together. And that's when Alex invites her to also come to the wedding. Which brings us to what some may say is the biggest change of them all. Palm Springs versus Barcelona. which really has a domino effect on the entire story. So in the novel, Poppy is trying to pitch Palm Springs to her boss so that she can get a free stay out of it. But of course, her boss says, no, I'm sending you to Santorini. But she has her heart set on Palm Springs. She really wants to see Alex again. So she decides to take some time off and just pay for this trip out of pocket, keeping this detail a secret from Alex, otherwise, she doesn't think he's gonna want to go. Instead, she says, let's do it how we used to and go on a budget. In the movie, they're not using this as an opportunity to reunite and go on a trip together. It's actually a lot more awkward. Mind you, they haven't been casually texting or in any contact whatsoever like they have been in the book. So instead, after spin class with Rachel, Poppy is on this exercise adrenaline high that she decides to just call Alex. Poppy lies saying that R&R is sending her to Barcelona for a work trip, which she's actually able to make happen. Thank God she doesn't have to pay out of pocket for this one. Okay, let's talk about the airport. I love this scene that they added of Poppy going down to baggage claim and waiting for her luggage to get out, and she's got her headphones on and she's just jamming out and singing out loud, which I think this is a great showcase of just her fun personality. That's when Alex appears out of nowhere, and this is the moment that they're seeing each other for the first time in over 2 years. This reunion in the movie is definitely a lot less heartwarming than it is in the book. In the book, Alex is actually the one that hugs Poppy. But the film was able to use this awkward do we hug, do we not hug moment to transition to a flashback. And we do get the big box of condoms scene. Thank you, Wanda. As well as an added bonus comedic miscommunication scene between Alex and Poppy's dad, who is not as intimidating as he is in the book. The flight. We still get scared first time ever flying Alex, but this time he's knocked out for the entire flight because Poppy's mom gave him some pills, which I get this change. You can't keep every scene, so this was an easy way for them kind of just to speed it along. But I did really love the scene in the book because I felt like you could really visualize that moment where they're sitting, they're flying, and Alex accidentally elbows Poppy in the face because there's a little bit of turbulence and he gets scared, not even realizing that he hit her in the face. Poppy asks, why didn't you tell me you were afraid of flying? And we find out that this is Alex's first time ever flying on an airplane. The Canada trip. The Vancouver trip in the book has now changed into a camping trip in Squamish, Canada. I love camping, so this was awesome. I think this might even be my favorite part in the entire movie. I don't know, the New Orleans scene might be a close second. You know what scene I'm talking about. They did a really good job of combining trips and moving certain moments here and there so that they still happened, but it just might be on an entirely different trip than it was in the book. So, for example, while we're still on the topic of New Orleans, that one scene where Poppy sprains her ankle and Alex carries her all the way back to the hotel room, that actually happened on a different trip where they're hiking and Poppy sprains her ankle and Alex carries her down the mountain. This was on my bingo card. I'm not going to mark it because he didn't carry her down the mountain, but he still carried her, and that's all that matters. Vacation Alex. Vacation Alex Canada. Buck brings them back to his campsite. I actually like this version of Buck a lot more than the one that we get in the book where he's just a jerk. We don't really need to get into that, but love Buck in the movie. Love this actor. I feel like he's in everything nowadays. We meet Vacation Alex, and Vacation Alex goes skinny dipping. Meanwhile, Poppy is going back to Buck's tent with him, and she is getting all up in her mind about this one tattoo he has that's all about death. So now the whole time while they're making out, she's just thinking about death. Cut back to Alex on the beach, making out with Daisy, and then Daisy leaves and Alex is all by himself on the beach trying to look for his clothes, but the sea took his clothes. His clothes are gone. He is naked and now he must go back to the campsite, but all the tents look the same, so that means he has to find Poppy to figure out which tent is theirs and not be naked. Poppy leaves the tent and she finds naked Alex. Poppy ends up giving Alex her romper that she's wearing. Fun scene. I liked I love the camping scene, okay? It brings us to this next really cute moment where they are in the tent and they promise to take trips together. So, as someone who dropped out of college myself, I really loved this scene because it was such a special moment between the two of them. They're laying in their tent together. Alex is wearing Poppy's romper. They're kind of just, talking before bed. They're the only tent with their lights still on. Poppy opens up to Alex by saying a hypothetical situation. If I didn't go back next semester and I used my tuition to get a terrible apartment in New York and intern at a magazine and work on my blog, would I ever see you again? And Alex responds with, how about this? Every summer, wherever we are, whatever we're doing, whoever we're with, we meet somewhere in the world for a trip. No notes. I loved this scene. Instead of staying at the Desert Rose apartment complex in Palm Springs like they did in the book, in the movie, Poppy's staying at a very nice hotel. When they arrive and Alex brings up her luggage for her, the room is really, really, really hot, just like it is in the book for their Palm Springs stay. And they also were able to include the plastic construction tarp taped up balcony situation. So that was really nice to see that as well. But yeah, we were able to check off the AC not working on the bingo card. Awesome. We got a beautiful transition to another flashback while Alex is trying to fix the AC for Poppy. Poppy brings up, at least it's a dry heat. Alex replies with, oh yeah, right, the famous Poppy poof. And then Poppy says, yeah, New Orleans is still talking about it. New Orleans! Okay, I gotta go do a thing really quick and I'll be right back. Okay, now we can talk about New Orleans. Sorry, I had to go do something really quick, but now we're good. We're good. Another moment on the bingo card that we can mark off is the newlyweds. I put this on there kind of vague, being like, oh, maybe we'll see the newlywed couple that we meet in the book, or we can see Poppy and Alex pretending to be newlyweds, which we got both. So pretty pumped that we were able to check that off the list. In the book, we meet this couple on a rideshare where they're going from the airport to this location where Poppy and Alex can pick up their car that they're going to be borrowing for their time in Palm Springs. And Poppy and Alex refer to this couple that are on their honeymoon as wifey and hubby. We see them a couple times later on throughout the book as well. And of course, Alex and Poppy fall in right back into their little games that they used to play when they used to go on trips together, where they would pretend to be newlyweds. So in the film, they were also able to include this couple. Happy to see them. Instead of being on the current summer trip that the movie is in Barcelona, we meet this couple while they're in New Orleans. It's actually the first time that Alex and Poppy are pretending to be newlyweds to get free stuff. We also get the line, theme matters. All right, the moment you've been waiting for. I've kind of mentioned this being a close second of my favorite scenes. It might be the first, I don't know. But we get to see Vacation Alex New Orleans. So they switched Poppy and Alex doing karaoke in this bar to now they're dancing. It's all part of their lie as being a newlywed couple to wifey and hubby they're talking to. And they just have a lot of lies in their backstory, and one of them is that Alex choreographed a dance, and now, of course, they want to see it. So Poppy asks the bartender for the aux cord, and she plays the song that in the beginning, when they first met and they're on this road trip going back home to Linfield, it's the saxophone song. I love Vacation Alex. Vacation Alex in Canada, Vacation Alex in New Orleans. And if you haven't already fallen in love with Tom Blythe at this point, you definitely have in this scene. Pull it up right now. Watch it. So good. That boy has some moves. And they did include the I love it when you get weird line, just changing Alex's response to make it flow a little bit better to I'm only weird when I'm with you. So cute. I love it. Okay, we're done talking about New Orleans, so I'm just gonna take this wig off really quick. I might just keep the dress on, we'll see. Give me 1 second. We're back to the present. Alex is fixing the AC unit, or at least trying to fix the AC for Poppy, when he gets a back spasm. Check that off the bingo card. Thank goodness they kept it in. Otherwise, I don't know how they would have gotten Alex to spend the night at Poppy's hotel room. In the book, it's established that this isn't the first time that Alex is experiencing a back spasm, but in the movie, it seems like, yeah, this might be the first time for him. Poppy gets him an ice pack and gets him settled on the couch. Alex thanks Poppy, and Poppy replies with, "I'm just returning the favor for Norway." A smooth transition to our next item we can mark off the bingo card. Poppy's sick. Poppy getting sick. They executed this perfectly, keeping it short and sweet. Honestly, no notes. I loved it. It was beautiful. Next up, we have the couples trip. Mark that off the bingo card. Couples trip. In the movie, this is the first time that Poppy and Sarah are meeting, as well as Alex and Trey, and, Trey and Sarah. The major plot point that happened in both the book and movie in the couples trip is Poppy's pregnancy scare. In the book, she goes out and buys 3 different pregnancy tests, and when she returns, she's just pacing back and forth on the terrace, and that is where Alex finds her. He's woken up before the sun has even risen to go on his morning run before it gets too hot outside, and he is just a supportive best friend. He's there to talk her through it, and there's even a moment where Alex really opens up, and we see him cry for the first time. And we didn't get that in the movie, but it was a very special moment in the book. The friendship fallout. So Croatia is this big looming thing in the book. Like, what happened in Croatia? That's like when they stopped going on trips together after that. In the book in Croatia, Alex and Poppy have a drunken makeout. And they're kissing, and Alex pulls away before it can get any farther. And this really just leads to a lot of miscommunication in the book. All this time, I thought he'd rejected me, and he thought I'd been cavalier with him in his heart. In the movie, they almost kiss, and Alex asks, "What am I to you?" And she really just friend zones him. So then the next morning, Alex proposes to Sarah. I was not expecting that. That was new. I was screaming at my TV with that reveal. Speed round. In the book and movie, they do have that steamy moment on the balcony after cutting the plastic tarp construction, whatever it is. We do get the author cameo with Emily Henry. She's sitting next to Poppy at the wedding ceremony. Mark that off the bingo card, and what's that mean? We got bingo! Alex does bring up the question of what does our future look like. We go from, in the book, having that right before Alex gets on a plane to at the wedding while they're slow dancing. Oh my god, this is a fun little addition. So Poppy's at the airport, and guess who she runs into? Sarah. Guess what Sarah does now? She's a flight attendant. Oh my god, why do I like this little scene that they added? Well, my name is Sarah. Hi. And what do I do for a living? I'm a flight attendant. She's gonna run scene. They established earlier in a scene in the movie that he's got these headphones that are really, really like noise canceling headphones. Getting ready for his run. Poppy's at the front door. He doesn't see her. And he's going on a run. So she's gonna run. I was yelling at my TV for this one too. I think we all saw that one coming, right? My final thoughts. If you're a fan of the book, I don't think you're going to be disappointed by this movie at all. I watched it 3 times in preparation for making this video, so I think it's safe to say that I liked the movie. I will be reading and watching everything that Emily Henry puts out there. Definitely excited for the books that have been announced that are going to be turned into movies, which I will definitely be making videos on those. Well, that's it for this video. If I missed something you thought was significant, drop it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed so far. If you haven't already, you should do that. You should subscribe. Let's become friends. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what book I should read next, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. I wanted to be on theme with New Orleans, so I got my blue wig that I already owned.